This is Kelly. Isn't she something? Recently, she had reignited her passion for driving. Back in the day, she owned some absolute rusted out piece of crap. Look at it in the tail light. So we began our hunt for a car. We had quite a few specifications. Had to be small, had to be quirky, and it had to be JDM. Now, to you, dear viewer, what kind of image comes to your mind? A Corolla? A Pulsar, maybe? Well, no, that's too low rent and impoverished for us. We needed class. We needed style. We needed a 1992 Daihatsu Mira. Yes, that'll do. So we bought our time and waited for that perfect car to come along. One night, I get a message on my phone. It was perfect. So we organised with the seller to come down and let us take it for a test drive. If it was all good, we'd buy it on the spot. If not, we'd send him on his merry way. The car arrived promptly at 6 p.m. and so began the inspection. Everything seemed good, so we went for a drive. And unfortunately, when you're looking at things with rose-tinted glasses, all those red flags just end up being, well, flags. There were quite a few issues, but we chose to ignore them and handed over the money. The power of the Mira was just too strong. So we went back to her house and congratulated ourselves on a job well done. A purchase well made. And in the morning, under the bright illumination of the sun, we got to see this car for what it truly was. And to be honest, our breath was taken away.
Cut them off, sing the grow. Don't they hear something now? Cut them off, sing the grow. Time has come here and now. Sitting on top of your empire made of bone. Now I understand why you're so alone. You don't know what to do. Something left, something new. You don't know what to do. Your empire is falling.
So now, under the harsh reality of sunlight, we could see the car for what it really was. An absolute beauty with a few problems. But like every good relationship, it wasn't perfect, but it had potential. Now, the biggest issue was its idle hunt. It couldn't find where it needed to sit. The car was driving fine, but that idle kept going around all over the place. Now, the car was in great condition for its age, only 84,000 kilometers on the clock, but it had signs that it had been parked up and forgotten about. The young bloke we bought it off said it wasn't actually running when he got it. He advised us that the timing belt and water pump had been replaced, so I was pretty happy about that.
Why must you turn my office into a house of lies?
That brand new water pump that he told us he'd installed, well, it wasn't installed correctly. A small rubber gasket around one of the inlet pipes wasn't doing its job, and it was leaking water everywhere. If we topped up the coolant, it only drained within a couple of hours. I hold no ill will. It would have been nice if he advised us, because it was pretty clear it was like that, but you can't win 'em all. Buyer beware. Now with the dread setting in that I would have to indeed pull off the timing belt and replace the water pump. And we'd also been advised that the thermostat needed replacing as well. And while we're at it, we might as well do the coolant temp sensor, because that hadn't been changed either. Oh well, I knew what I was getting myself into. So I organised my tools, and it was time to get to work. Firstly, we were going to tackle the water pump. That was the largest of the jobs, so I wanted to knock that out as soon as possible. That's pretty much me and everything in life, is the Timu version. Why could we pay for someone who knows what they're doing? And if this belt wants to be a happy little Vegemite, here it comes. Because you know, I'm such a vlogger. I love telling people about my life. It's always the last one right at the bloody bottom. Come on. I think it's actually working out. Yeah, I can see it coming off. Alright. And one. Yes! yes. Fucking BEA. Oh. No expensive tool. Just good old fashioned gumption to get that. Yeah. Oh.
Getting it?
Almost. So. Oh, yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Beautiful. So I can get a little bit out. That's going to drain and do its thing.
Yep. Looks like the Powerade we're drinking.
Yeah, just don't drink that. That's removed enough tension that we should be able to get this belt off. Now I spent way too long trying to pull that timing belt off until I actually realised you need to take the cam gear off first. But with that off, it's now time to give the old water pump the old heave-ho. Now with that water pump off, we were finally able to see what had gone wrong, and
Deal! Got a deal! What's that?
I lost my Saturdays because of this 20-cent little chucklehead. Now, unless this man had sandpaper for hands, I do not know why this gasket would have gotten this torn up. And it's clear this is where all our problems originated from. And trust me, it hurts to think that all this work could have been avoided if someone had installed this 20-cent gasket with a little bit more tenderness and care. Now remember to always clean the mating surface. Unless you really like doing the job twice. Then I suggest go nuts, do whatever you want, I don't care. So we thought it would be a good idea to sand the inlet pipe. It was pretty rusty. We didn't want that rust snagging on the gasket. This would be one of the only very few times that you would use very coarse sandpaper on something relating to the water pump. It's generally advised that you use nothing that would actually scratch the metal. There we go. In this instance, we decided to use both gasket goo and the included paper gasket. Don't ask me why. I just didn't want to do it twice. It wasn't running the best when we got it, but we're like, we still kind of wanted it. Get that away. And there's that. Now, wiggle. Okay, that just popped in. Now we put some notches in the old belt to help with the timing, and then we essentially just carried them over. So that way we could line all the teeth up and we wouldn't lose timing.
I can see from here, kind of.
Line that up with...
Needs to go back one. Yep.
We'll tighten that in just a moment.
Yep.
Alright. Cease with that for now. We had completed the timing belt and water pump. Oh, thank God. So now we decided to do the rest of the cooling system. That way we could test the system for leaks and see if we'd actually installed the water pump correctly.
Got blasted out.
It came out off camera and I was going to reenact it, but it could actually eat a bag of dicks. Now I remove the thermostat housing. It's like all dried corn in there and shit. We didn't get that pipe out the way.
There we go.
She's seen better days.
That's why we're putting a new one.
Yep. So even though it's got new cooling in it, this cooling system is
Yum yum.
good shit. Bye, bitch.
Look at that. I'm using it the wrong way.
Oh, we'll edit that one out. Oh my god. I'm like, what? This isn't working too well.
Yeah, if you're holding it the wrong way as well, you could have bloody cut yourself.
Maybe that's my goal in life. That was my goal. Maybe I've just had enough. Maybe this mirror has driven me to the brink of insanity.
Possibly.
Trust me. This mirror is being a pain, but it's not the pain of working on a fucking Lexus. They've just filled it up. Imagine what it would have been like if we left it in like a month or so.
Oh, look at that peel.
It needs less scraping.
Look at that.
We didn't drain much coolant from it, but I'm also concerned at how little came out. Well, I'm not concerned, we haven't been running the car, so, but if we were to do any serious driving on that car, this car, we'd be fucked. Because the way coolant was coming out of that wouldn't have lasted. You'd be topping that up every week. Literally, we topped it up and that was gone. And then we didn't even drive it. Now on to the coolant temp sensor. This was by far the hardest part of the entire job. There's just no access and it's such a fiddly thing to unscrew. This took me hours and almost broke me.
I've been struggling with this little bitch for a while.
But with some perseverance and a lot of stubbornness, it finally came out. Now it's always a good idea to replace these sensors if required. They tell the ECU what the engine temperature is and allow it to adjust the engine's fuel injection and ignition timing as necessary. Gee, look at that. I hate you.
Die! Die, bitch, die! Off down there somewhere.
Eat a dick.
We see a difference.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can't use that socket anymore. You Daihatsu. So, Professor Dickhead here threw away the screw to hold the thermostat in. Good thing I've got an old Toshiba lying around. And for some reason they use the same screw, so... Oh well, just throw that old puffy in there. Oh, gasket go. Out like that. Now I just want to have a quick whinge here about how frustrating it is working on a car with a neglected cooling system. All the rubber hoses are tight and seized, they're just so difficult to get off. All the plastic connectors break and are brittle, and you have to replace them. It's just a nightmare. Now you need to decide if you're a wet gasket man or a dry gasket man. Guess what we are?
Didn't quite catch that. What was that?
Moist gasket. Okay. Just me making stupid faces.
Yeah.
So, yes, what we have to do is connect it all back, connect the entire cooling system, so that we can run a hose in and check for leaks. Because I'm not putting all that shit back together to realize that the water pump is still leaking. Now, it won't give us a lot of pressure, but with any luck, it will give us enough that we can see if there's a problem. We won't see it. It won't be fixed until we're all done, but I'm about a plunger, you know, give it the old That's fine. All right.
I do have a plunger.
So we can give it the we can give it the veins.
I was.
Oh, look at you. Rely on old faithful.
Am I old?
I feel like that's an insult, calling someone old faithful. It's like you're just not that far away from taking him out the back of the barn and shooting him. It's just such a fucking pain. I hate these types of clamps. People seem to think they're not too bad when you get the right tool. I have not got the tool yet. It is fine. Oh yeah, that's all that side's all back up and good to go.
Yep.
So now we need to test for leaks. If we're okay with leaks, then
Bob's your uncle.
it's hard to be. She's watertight, son. Well, let's give it a go. Me too.
What happens if it's wrong? You a big bang?
You'll hear it, you'll know.
Is that because it's
So after all that, the car was running, but not very well. We had done a fair bit of work. Now we had the arduous task of trying to find what was unplugged or why it wasn't running well enough. Now, our first point of concern, and maybe the timing had gone bad. We didn't hear any bangs or crashes, so it wouldn't have been too bad, maybe just out by a tooth or so. However, the timing still marked up perfectly, so it definitely wasn't that. The engine hadn't at least blown itself up, which is always a nice feeling. We first started by checking to see if the engine was throwing any codes. To do this, you have to bridge two terminals, and it will flash on the dash. However, we couldn't get the car running well enough for it to produce a code.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think the distributor's actually doing anything. No, the engine sounds fine. Brake cleaner? No, that's right.
Turns out the issue is that the distributor has a certain amount of adjustability for it, so that you can tune it essentially. There were two marks that we used to line up, But it turns out they must have been old marks, because by adjusting the distributor, she was much happier now, mate. The car running healthy, it's time to finish this job once and for all.
They're not the bolts, they're le bolts.
Le bolts. I have le bolts.
Beautiful. 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 I can play guitar with that string.
Nice.
Is that going to be our response to everything? Just,
Nice.
I forgot about that.
Who needs the bumper?
Oh, it's just hectic calling, mate. Just greater airflow, you know? New age design.
Finey fine.
I don't know. I want to sit here and ponder the meaning of life. What brought me to these choices?
So, I fucked up. Fantastic. Now, I think this is a great learning opportunity for everyone. Always read the service manual. Can't stress that enough. I should have done it, but I didn't. So now we're going to have to course correct. Now, essentially what happened when torquing up the crank pulley onto the gear, there is a little Woodruff key that helps locate it into position. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention and the key slightly moved. Now, I thought that key was pressed into the gear, but no, it's a small little key that can be removed and placed back on. And unfortunately, it moved slightly, and then when torquing it, it moved a little bit and then got torqued up, and now it's well, she's stuck in there and she's bulging out. So unfortunately, that crank gear is now coming off now. And well, I hope we never need to change that flange, because that's also not coming out now. What to do in this situation? The smart thing, well, the correct procedure would be to pull the engine out, take it to a workshop and get them to remove the key. Now, unfortunately, we're already over budget, we're already over time. We're gonna backyard this. Now, essentially what we're gonna do is, thankfully, it's my understanding that there's no load on the actual key itself. It's purely there to help position it into the thing. So we're gonna do like they do on the Discovery Channel and absolutely get funky. We're just gonna grind it down and see if we can get the crank pulley to locate it, and then put the crank pulley bolt, and then hopefully that will stop all the moving and shaking. All right, I am not looking forward to this. I have been dreading this moment because this goes against everything I believe in, but this thing needs to get back on the road, and it's going to be our problem later down the track, but we need to go, so let's get to work.
Yep.
No, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised, but it did seem to work. Thankfully, an engine removal is not on the cards for today. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see, but today, it seems to be running healthily. So with the engine running nice and smooth, it's time to get the rest of the car back together and go for a drive. Oh, and it goes without saying, don't do this. This was a dumb decision to fix a dumb mistake. Do it right.
My life is flashing before my eyes. How do people do this every day? Like, you go in every day and like, yeah, get to do another timing belt today. Christ, the money better be good because couldn't pay me in the world enough to do it.
Oh, I don't know. Depends if it was a lot of money, then maybe.
Look, if I started up a YouTube channel and all I did on that channel was how to do time belts, and I had a million subscribers, I'd still fake it. I'd still pay someone else to do it. So there's something in the system. Now pour a little bit in first. See, just check underneath if it's not dripping out. So by a little bit, I mean like maybe a bit, just to kind of make sure that we didn't leave anything on the tide. I don't think we did, but it's just good to check that. Michael frantically texting all of his mechanic friends in a hopes for some form of validation that he has done something right. I love how that the guy we bought it off gave us an AC belt that's too short.
Of course.
Fuck's the use of that? So the car is AC-less for the time being. Alright,
Doing it?
well, the problem is I keep turning it, it's not going in anymore, so I'm not sure if it's...
I better shut the door. Just one sec.
What door? Car door?
I feel like those spicy noodles are giving me hiccups.
They'll give you something else tomorrow. They'll give you the old spicy pickles. Like that. But I'm such in like a perpetual state of this car is broken, we need to fix it kind of mode. So the concept of this potentially driving is just like, no, I'm gonna go fix it. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah.
It's like your embodiment of a car, right? Is like all the things wrong with it. You don't think about, oh, that's a cool car. You just like, fuck, what have we got to do with it? Like with my Lexus, right? I don't look at that and mentally think what I need to fix up on it. It runs, it drives, fiddly fucking D. But with this, and at no fault to the car, I'm just like, the concept of driving it isn't there. It's generally. Oh yeah, we can put the new aerial on too. This one is young and healthy, firm and erect.
Alright.
Yeah.
Not old and floppy. Like the one that's up there.
No, calm down, alright? Still got a bit of life in me. Fucking... Shh, stop airing my dirty laundry. Hate it. But yeah, now we gotta drive it, I suppose. I don't want to drive it because that confirms either we broke something or.
No, do you still have you talked the?
I have not talked that.
So then it's not done.
I know. It's for the camera, alright?
Okay.
It's for the viewer. They don't know it's not talk. We could fucking just send it and no one gives a shit.
me. I just had my head loops in, so I couldn't hear properly.
Let's go for a drive. Get
Okay.
it warm.
Yep.
And
We're off.
Nug.
The Nug's alive.
Well,
She sounds pretty alive to me.
We had to pull over because it was overheating. Turns out we forgot to bleed the cooling system. We bled it and she was right as rain.
Take two.
take two, bled the coolant. Looks like there was a fair bit of water in the system.
And now it's raining, so the car's getting a wash. Oh, look at that. Hey.
We crashed, it's not my fault. Oh, it just shows you how much dirt was. It's good, it's happy. Temp's nice in the middle, that's very good. So over here, more. We finally fixed the idle hunt.
I know.
After all that, the one thing that we were trying to fix has now fucking been fixed. It only took what, 3 months? Oh my goodness. She's a banger. It's done. Now we just need to fix everything else we've got to cover. But it is drivable now. I can actually take it out for a drive. Stuff that will move in a bit more.
Ta-da!
Bit.
So the Mira's finally back on the road. It only took about 3 months, but better late than never. But imagine that, buying a car and actually driving it. But clearly, I seem to miss that memo because look at all the nuggets that I keep buying. Now, I know the edit made this seem like a 5-10 minute job, but really, this was months of work. Quite a few weekends were put away to working on this car, and I actually kind of feel bad that it took this long. Essentially, we bought it, drove it back, and then took the bumper off, and there it sat for 3 months while we were working on it. Even our parents were commenting, "Oh, buddy, look at that piece of shit." No, they weren't that bad, but it did feel bad. You know, when you buy a car, you want to expect to be able to drive it. That didn't happen. Now, really, there's no ill will to the person who sold it to us like that. Shit happens. I've done a lot of dumb shit in cars and then sold it off to someone and didn't disclose it. It happens, but obviously it's nice when they tell you, but that didn't happen. Now, I know at the end of my videos I tend to be like, hey, don't like and subscribe, find a cool project car, get to work. But if you could actually like and subscribe, that would be really good. This video took a lot of time and a lot of effort, so really any engagement you can send my way is much appreciated. So the Mira will be a regular on the channel. There's still a fair bit of work that we actually need to do it. It's just driving now. We've got to do the CV joints, we've got to do the exhaust, a lot of other things. We've got to paint the wheels, a lot of little tidy up kind of things that will make for fun little videos. However, the big job is done, thank Christ. Now really, I've only done 2 timing belts now and I still feel like that's too many. But now this is done, we can focus back on working on the nugget here and get that back on the road. Now I've got a lot of cool things that I want to be showing you, especially some little secrets sitting over there, but no, you can't see them, you keep looking at me. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. Remember, do me a favor, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. Ta-ta.